Welcome back. I am Rahena, and we are playing more of Gakuen Heaven 2. We are toward the end of Sonoda's route, but not really. We have just had the explanation from Sonoda about everything, or rather not much of anything, but Yuki has found out that the person he has trusted as his partner has betrayed him. He's the one who stole his armband, and is now forcing him to make an impossible choice. He can either choose between two boxes, both of which are empty, as opposed to Joker's ending, where Sonoda placed the armband in one box and was going to force Yuki to pick the one that was empty. This time, they're both empty. And so he has the choice of choosing between two empty boxes or giving up. Of course, we're going to choose a box anyway. Doesn't matter. Choose the box. If I'm going to lose opening either one, rather than doing nothing, it's best to take some action. So instead of just giving up without a fight, at least go down fighting. I'll open one. Choose whichever one you like. The result will be the same. And it doesn't matter what you choose. And there it is anyway. It's the armband. The armband was inside. Alright, I win. What is the meaning of this? And the panda is announcing that Yuki has won. This can't be happening. Why? What did you do? I just chose a box according to the rules. I prepared the boxes to be empty, so the armband couldn't be in there. What kind of trick did you use? I really didn't do anything. It was in there normally. First of all, you were the one who was cheating. This can't be happening. I can't accept this result. Give me that armband. No. Even if you do this, I'm not giving you this armband. So I don't know if they're implying that he's like choking Yuki at this point or what. Won't let go. That's far enough, AG. So just as before, Joker is here. Because remember, Joker knows a lot about Sonoda. How did you get here? Sorry, Yuki. It took me a little time to come help you. I never imagined AG would sabotage us like that. So I don't know if he did exactly as in Joker's ending, or he zapped him with the stun gun and locked him up somewhere, or if it was something a little less extreme this time, but he did do something to them. Well, I didn't expect you to do something dangerous to get me and Hayato out of the way. But just as I expect from you, Ace, without giving in to adversity, you acted and summoned a victory. I knew it, Kyo. Was this some sort of plot of yours? Well, it's true that it would be simple for me to tweak the results of a contest, but...
神聖な真剣勝負のゲームにチャチャを入れるような真似だけはしないよ。
I wouldn't make light of a sacred, serious contest. Remember, contests and games are everything to Joker. If you mess with that, he will beat you until you pass out.
お前みたいにね。
Unlike you.
エイジ、もう悪あがきはやめなよ。お前は彼と運の勝負で負けたんだ。
Eiji, give up your useless struggle. You lost to him in a contest of luck.
おとなしく自分の敗北を認めろ。
So gracefully accept your defeat.
これまでお前のチャチな遊びに付き合ってるふりをしてあげてたけど、それもここまで。
Until now, I've pretended to go along with your crappy game, but that ends here.
ゲームオーバーだ。
It's game over.
腕章を渡せ。
Give me the armband.
一度振られた才の目はもう変えられない。
The die that's already been cast isn't going to change.
お前がみっともなく抗うなら、僕もそれなりの手段を取るけど。
If you're going to continue shamefully resisting, then shall I also take suitable measures? Probably a beating.
やってみたらいいだろう。面白半分に生きてるお前とは覚悟が違うんだ。
Just try it. My determination is different from yours. You just live your life half in jest. So he does not respect Joker's way of thinking.
隼人がいないお前くらい、俺がどうにかしてやる。
What can you do against me without Hayato?
やれやれ。救えない男だね。
My, there's no help for you.
僕が普段なぜ自分で手を下さずに隼人を使ってたのか。
Did you ever...
お前は知ってると思ってたけど。
Do you really think you know why I use Hayato and don't deal with things myself normally? And the implication seems to be that if Joker takes care of things himself, you know, quote-unquote takes care of things, he goes a little too far. Like we saw in his ending where he beat the crap out of Sonoda to the point that he passed out. I think if Joker let himself... you know, take care of problems, so to speak, he would get himself into some serious trouble and seriously harm other people. So it's a good thing that there's someone like Chiba who will not go that far.
Joker-san, Sonoda-san.
And these two who are friends are in such an explosive situation. What should I do?
お前たち、そこまでだ。
That's enough.
榊先生。
園田、お前の負けだ。
Sonoda, you lose.
ベルワンは朝比奈の勝利で、この学園は存続される。
Asahina wins the Bell One and the school will continue.
よかったな、朝比奈。
Isn't that nice?
はい。でも、榊先生は理事会なのに、俺の勝利を認めちゃっていいんですか？
But is it okay for you to recognize my win even though you're on the board? Good question.
ああ。
Yeah.
お前は正式にベルワンの競技をこなして、エースの称号を取り戻したんだからな。
You properly completed the Bell One contest and regained the title of ace.
正式なんかじゃない。3回戦のはイカ様だ。
It wasn't proper. He cheated in the third round. Seriously, Sonoda? Pot, meat, kettle? Jeez.
いや、正式なものだ。
No, it was proper.
お前が不正に細工した箱を当初のルール通り2分の1の確率に戻したのは俺だからな。
So, the box that you used an unfair trick with, I returned it back to the original 50-50 chance according to the rules. So...
榊先生が。
But isn't Professor Sakaki a member of the board who wants to shut down the school?
なんで？
Why?
ちなみに監視カメラの映像を朝比奈に送ったのも俺だ。
And I'm the one who sent Asahina the movie from the security camera. So now we finally know where that came from.
なるほどね。
I see.
確かに榊先生なら監視カメラの映像を手に入れられる立場にある。
It is true that Professor Sakaki's in a position to obtain the footage from the security camera. Because remember, one of the responsibilities of the director of the school is to manage the security. And I'm sure, some of the lower level stuff would fall to the assistant director. Because it's just impossible with a school this big and with the research labs and such on the island, which is really what needs to be protected, that the lower level security stuff would fall to other people. And it makes sense that Sakaki would have access to those things as, basically second in command at the school.
理事会は学園を潰したかったんじゃないんですか?
So the board wasn't trying to shut down the school?
あの映像がなかったら、ベルワンの開催はできなかったかもしれません。
Because without that movie, we may not have been able to hold the Bell One.
それなのに、先生はなぜそんなことを?
So why did you do it?
すべては生徒と学園を試すためだった。
It was to test the students in the school.
生徒と学園を試す?
It was a test.
ああ、廃校を言い渡すことで、お前たち生徒や理事長がどういう反応をするか見たかった。
I wanted to see what kind of reaction you students and the director, that's Tomo, would have to the pronouncement of the school closing.
そしてベルワンを通してこの学園が存続にふさわしいものなのか。
And so the Bell One was meant to judge whether the school was fit to continue.
生徒たちの行動を俺自身が判断したかったんだ。
I wanted to see for myself the actions of the students, so he was watching to see what would happen.
大人の都合を押し付けて一方的に屈服させることが目的じゃない。
It was not my goal to make you arbitrarily surrender for the convenience of adults. Now, thinking about the board itself, it seems like that's what they wanted, though, so I think I'll say a lot more about this, so I'll just keep going.
学園がなくなるってことを知った俺たちの行動を見て判断するため。
So you were watching our actions when we found out the school was going to be closing in order to judge us?
つまり学園全体がテストされてたってことですか?
So in short, you were testing the entire school.
まあな。
Yeah, kind of.
結果として生徒の代表である朝比奈が優勝を勝ち取った。
And as a result, you, Asahina, as a representative of the students, won a victory.
お前は勝利を誇っていい。
You should be proud of your win.
榊先生。
園田。
Oh, poor Sonoda.
お前は負けを認めて諦めろ。負けた以上、お前の願いは叶わない。
Accept your defeat and give up. Since you lost, your wish won't be granted.
お前だって本当は分かってたんだろ?
But you actually already knew that, didn't you?
お前の願いを叶えることがもう不可能だってことくらい。
It's no longer possible for your wish to be granted. His wish.
もうあのことは忘れろ。
Forget about it already.
忘れろだって。そんなことできるわけないだろう。
Forget about it. I can't do that.
園田さん、どこに?
Where are you going? So he's run off.
やめなよ。今君が追いかけても逆効果だ。
Stop. If you chased him now, it would have the opposite effect.
榊先生、一体どういうことなんですか?
And now back to Professor Sakaki. What is the meaning of this?
園田さんは理事会の手先じゃなかったんですか?
Sonoda wasn't a pawn of the board?
だけど、同じ理事会側の榊先生は学園を潰す気はなかったって、正直、俺わけがわかんないですよ。
But you're also on the side of the board and you weren't trying to shut down the school, so honestly, I don't really get it.
まあ簡単に言うとな、理事会は一枚岩じゃないってことだ。
So it was basically Yuki's invitation to open up the floodgates of exposition. So here we go. To put it simply, the board is not a monolith.
確かに俺は榊グループから理事会代表として送り込まれた人間だ。
It's true that I was sent as a representative of the board from the Sakaki group.
だが俺の考えと俺を理事会に送り込んだ人間が同じ考えとは限らない。
But my opinions are not necessarily the same opinions as those of the people who sent me to the board.
ってことは、先生は廃校反対派だったんですか？
Does that mean you're opposed to the school closing?
反対というより中立派だな。俺の目で学園存続の是非を判断するまでは廃校案は止めておきたかった。
Rather than opposed, I'd say I was neutral. I wanted to stop the proposal to close the school until I could judge with my own eyes the pros and cons of continuing.
だからといって大っぴらにグループの意思に背くわけにもいかない。
And I couldn't publicly disobey the will of the group.
だから廃校を止めておく理由として大義名分が必要だった。
I needed a just cause as the reason to stop the school from closing.
お前たちにとってベルワンが学園を残すための最後の手段だったように。
And just as the Bell One was the final means for you guys to have the school remain open,
俺にとってもベルワン開催は願ったり叶ったりだったんだ。
for me, holding the Bell One made everything work out the way I wanted to. So there's little hints of stuff. Now, they never actually say it in the game, but and I'm sure I've mentioned this before because in Tomo's route it's also important. But Sakaki and his brother, their dad is the leader of the entire Sakaki group of companies. It's like the same position as Kazuki's father as the head of Suzubishi. So for Sakaki to oppose what the members of the board from the Sakaki group say is not just opposing, you know, some random person that he is kind of like distantly related to or, you know, going against what his boss wants. He is opposing his own family. So there are yet more layers to this onion of craziness as we're digging deeper into it here. So we've got the Tomo layer on the outside, and there is so much stuff going on behind that also in Tomo's backstory and just the pressures that are being put on him. Then we find out a bit about Sonoda's involvement in Joker's story, and now we're digging into the deeper meaning behind Sonoda's involvement. And then after that, we will get to look more at Sakaki's involvement in this. And then finally, we will have the full picture of what's going on here. So, this is a pretty important scene right here. So try to keep this in mind, this kind of stuff, as we go through. Of course, we're going to finish with Sonoda, and he has a very lovely story. But, you know, all the explanation and stuff here is also very important. So, holding the Bell One was kind of like Sakaki's excuse to do something to oppose his own family and to oppose the board.
やっぱりね。
I knew it.
理事会が学校存続なんて重要事項をゲームの勝敗で決めるなんて常識的にありえないし。
Well, something as important as the continuation of this school, the board would never decide that with the outcome of a game.
それなのに僕らの提案に簡単に乗ってきたことには何か裏があるとは思ってたけど。
I thought there was something behind how easily they accepted our proposal. Because remember, Joker was on the little panel with Kuya and Tomo planning the Bell One.
まあな。
Well.
ただ、もしお前たちがふぬけた態度を取るようならば。
If you had taken a cowardly attitude toward things,
成り行きに任せて廃校になるのを見届けたかもしれない。
depending on the outcome, you may have seen the school close.
だが結果としてお前たちはよくやった。
But in the end, you all did well.
特に朝比奈、生徒会長としての大役ご苦労だったな。
Especially you, Asahina. You did a good job in the main role of student council president.
榊先生。
And Yuki is just trying to process all this crazy stuff because it's a lot of information. So in order to protect the school, Professor Sakaki pushed us in the direction of holding the Bell One. Well, I'm glad he's not our enemy. But what about Sonoda?
それにしても大人は汚いな。
Adults are so underhanded. Or dirty. Fighting dirty.
結局先生は花からエイジに勝たせる気がないのに気を持たせて操るなんてさ。
And even though from the beginning you had no intention of letting him win, you manipulated him by getting his hopes
エイ
up.
ジがかわいそう。
I feel bad for him. Poor Eiji.
気を持たせて操るってどういうことなんですか？
Manipulating him by getting his hopes up. What does that mean?
そもそも園田さんはどうしてあんなことをしたんですか？
Anyway, why did Sonoda do that?
園田さんの願いって何なんですか？
What is his wish?
俺にも分かるようにちゃんと説明してください。
Please explain it so I can understand. So Yuki, of course, still concerned about Sonoda, the person he loves.
えらい剣幕だな。
Well, that's a menacing look.
当たり前です。たとえ裏切られたとしても俺は園田さんのパートナーだから。
Of course, even though he betrayed me, I'm still his partner.
そうか。
I see.
先生が言いにくいなら僕から話そうか。
If it's hard for you to say, should I tell him?
ジョーカーさん。
簡単に言うとね、先生が榊グループの金をちらつかせてエイジをそそのかしたんだよ。
And Joker is saying, to put it simply, the professor dangled the wealth of the Sakaki group in front of him to tempt him. And this goes into another hugely long explanation. So I'm actually going to cut this here and I'll pick up right here with what Joker is saying so we can get the real reason why Sonoda is doing these things, because we know he wants money. We don't know why, but we are about to find out, and it is very long, it's a very sad, it's a heartbreaking story, and I will save it for next time. So I hope you will come back and watch more as we're getting closer to the end here, and the explanations of why all these crazy things are happening. So I will see you next time.